Hi, my name's Mark and welcome to Membership Websites. So we wanted to do a video to post online to show you some of the benefits, some of the visual benefits about using Claude AI, which has been introduced with Brilliant Directories. You can connect your directory to Claude and then you can carry out some design requests or some management of some form of your website, and you can get it going into your website and doing all sorts. So we have a website here. So this is called localhomeservices.co.uk, and you're welcome to go along and have a look at this website. Now we are going to build this website fully using Claude. So we're not going to add anything that I would usually add manually. I'm going to instruct Claude to do it and get Claude to go in and do it. Now, I've spent about 10, 12 hours so far on this website working with Claude, getting it to go in and make changes to the website. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you the home page, which I'm about 60% happy with. We're going to show you the sign up page. So that's using the paid form. So it's going to be the sign up page we're going to show you. We're going to then show you some of the member account forms, and then saving the best till last, we're going to show you the profile front view, that the visitors view. And these are the only areas that we've sort of worked with Claude with just at the minute. So this website is still very much, Brilliant Directories default. There's still a lot of work to do. So we're going to run through, first of all, the home page and what we got Claude to do in terms of the home page. So you can see here we've got our header. There's not much gone on just in here. There has a mobile view though. So on mobile view, let me just go to developer tools and just show you mobile view. So you can see here what we've decided to do, because we're not using the main menu on our website. We've put these links just up here. So we've got get listed for £1, and we've got manage account, which takes a person to log in. So we're going to go back to desktop view just here, and I'll shut down the developer tools. And straight away, you see above the fold, we have our search widget. And what we wanted to do is create a 3-step search widget, and it's using the categories. So what Claude has done is it hasn't customized the default categories widget that Brilliant Directories uses, but what it's done is it's taken some of the coding from that in order to form this and created a whole new widget. So we've got your 3-step forms. You've got services, and then you can select your services. Then it takes you to your type, and you can select your type, and you can click continue, or you can click the box above there. And then you've got your locations. You could put in London or something like that and select your location. And then you can click and carry out that search. Now, we haven't visited the search results pages yet with Claude, and we will be doing that and showing you that in future videos. But I quite like this design because the focus is to the left in terms of the content in the search box, but we get a visual to the right. And to give you some context on the website, this website is going to be focused on local home services, so services that are primarily delivered in the home. We're going to move down a wee bit. As I say, I'm about 60% happy with this home page. And we've got this section just here, which Claude built. We also used AI to design our images and to give 4 images in one. And these are clickable, and these go through to the search results. We've then got a CTA, which will eventually go to the quote form on the website, so that we can generate leads for our users. And then when we scroll down, we've got an FAQ section. So you can see that there, the accordion set up for the FAQ sections. And then to the right, we're using our recently joined. Now, again, Claude has taken bits from the code for recent members, and then it's designed this. And I quite like this setup in terms of the block of 4 here. On mobile devices, let's just have a look at mobile view just so that you can see. If we go to developer tools and select mobile view, you can see it stacks two across, where the old recent members, or the default recent members, you just get to see sort of one block on each line. So I quite like this setup because I think that fits in more with the mobile design. Even though I don't necessarily like the setup just on the homepage at the moment. We have also replaced the Brilliant Directories footer completely with a custom footer designed by Claude. And I do have quite a lot of Facebook groups, which, you know, in time will link to the group and help generate new businesses joining the website. So that is the home page. So nothing too exciting there. As I say, about 60% happy with that. What you don't want to do is you don't want to overwhelm your home page. I've done some tests with Google on this, on performance and stuff like that, and Gmatrix, and we're hitting 98% thereabouts for our homepage. We've worked with Claude in order to be able to get that sort of score. So looking at how things are loaded onto the page and stuff like that. So next thing to look at then, we're going to look at our sign up form. So when you hit the get listed £1, it doesn't take you to the join page. We only have one plan on the front end of the website. We have a couple in the back end, but we have one plan on the front of the website, get listed for £1. So we're going to click on that, and you can see our sign up page. And again, this is a paid sign up form. And what we did is we asked Claude to create a 3-step process for the sign up. So what it does is, on the first step, it collects some account details, and some of these details will transfer through to the account when the person sets that up. Then it collects some business information in terms of the address and stuff like that for the business. And then it collects payment information, and then it generates the profile in the directory, and the person can then click through. We are using the confidence builder just on the right hand side here. I do like the 3-step process form, and we've also customized how this looks in terms of the title and stuff like that as well. And we've hidden the logo as well on this page. Now, you are a bit limited in terms of what you can do on this page in terms of customization. We've embedded CSS into some of this to control some of the design aspects of the page, because usually you can't change the background of the page and stuff like that. But by putting some CSS here and sort of applying it to the body, we were able to achieve that. So that's the sign up page. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take you into the account forms, and we're going to show you 3 account forms. We're going to show you the contact details, the additional details, and the about form. Now, we've not done very much in the account other than them 3 forms. We haven't touched the profile form yet, and we will be touching it to make sure it syncs and it fits in with the account forms. So again, this is just to give you a visual of what you can achieve with Claude, what we've managed to achieve, and you can sort of go off and play with it. And we can give you some guidance and some help as well through at membershipwebsites.net. But we're just going to log in just here. And when we log in, we're just going to go straight to, and all this will be getting done with Claude. There'll be a whole new look to the account. We're just going to go to basic information. So we've built this form with Claude, and when building the forms in the account, we've also had to work with a profile page as well. So we've had to work with a profile page side by side. And by adding an extension, a Chrome extension through Claude, Claude was able to view the front end of the website as if it was a user, and move and click on links and move about the front end of the website while it was looking at sections in the back end. And this took quite a bit of time. This was the bulk of the time that I've spent. I would say between doing the 3 forms and the profile view, which we're going to show you shortly, it took the bulk of about 10 hours to achieve, because there was lots of backwards and forwards chat with Claude, just trying to get things right. So you can see we have an account header just here, and we have some help sections. At the minute, we have the business name just across here. And then what we have done is we've split some of the input fields to the left and to the right. We've chose to lock the email address just here. And when we go down here, we've got our short description. And then we've played about with this section because one of the, when we work with people, one of their biggest gripes is probably, how do you get people to fill in the address section so that the profile is geocoded within the websites. So we come up with this system here. So we've moved the maps to the left and made it smaller, and people can carry out a search of whatever their address is, and then they can select it. What they can't do is they can't type into here, or here, because these are automatically generated. And it says that in the placeholders, if there wasn't already an address in there, it would say this is automatically generated. You need to use this input field, and that's sort of echoed up here. And an additional feature, which again we'll show you on the front end soon, is we've selected a coverage distance. So the person would select sort of what area they coverage from the address that they have selected just up here. We've got our website and social links. Again, we've split it into 2 columns just here, and then our button across the bottom. We're going to jump to the additional details because the profile photo section hasn't been touched yet. And again, you can see we carrying on the same design here in terms of the header. We have customized this section just to make it a bit more user-friendly, and people can sort of click on what they want to select and what they want to take off. We do have some questions down here. How do you take payment? And this is really important. We're using checkboxes, and that's so that we can generate something on the front of the website. So we're going to take a few more of these just so that you can see what that looks like on the front end. We've also added a select all option for this as well. We've got out of hours availability. Do you provide hours out of your normal business hours? So again, they can select yes or no, and depending on what they select will depend on what's generated on the profile, which we're going to be showing you shortly. Where we go down here, where you work, do you have a base? So although this is primarily a home service website in terms of people would deliver home services, that might be a roof or a plumber coming to your home. So any service that is generally delivered in or around the home. Some of these places might have showrooms or offices or clinics or something like that. So if they don't just work from home, or if they don't just provide home services, then they can select yes, that they have a base, and that will echo that on the front end of the profile. And then this is a really good bit because I know this is something that everybody wants, and Brilliant Directories don't do this by default. But this is the availability times. So when this first loads up, by default, we put everyone 9 till 5, but they can then change this. But if they don't touch this area, it will put them 9 till 5, and they can use a drop-down section for each one. And the times we set to go change sort of every 15 minutes in the drop-down. Or they can select that they're available 24 hours on that particular day, or that they're unavailable. Okay, so so that's that. We'll save that just because we've done a couple of changes further up the form. This is the about section. We've just got some default text in here. Nothing too exciting, and we have our section just up here as well. Just something to note though, what we did with this is we didn't want people putting links or contact numbers or email addresses within the about section. This also applies to the short description section, actually on the first page, the first form we visited, the contact details form. So what we did is we put a rule on that form, but we also put a rule on this form. So if I try and type in a phone number, let me just type that in. You can see down here it's identified that there's a phone number or something in there, and it says not allowed here contact numbers, emails, or links. So what we've done is we set up a system where it will scan what people are putting in here to the point where it will identify if they're trying to use contact numbers. And that might be just a different way that they type it in. Maybe they're typing the numbers grouped together. Maybe they're typing the numbers breaked up and putting a couple of spaces in. So it will scan to see whether they're using contact numbers or email addresses and that. If they try and bypass that and click save, please fix before saving, remove phone numbers. So it's identified that there's definitely a phone number in here, and it won't allow you to save and progress while that phone number's there. So in order to get around that, they need to remove the contact number. And we also did that, as I said, on the short description on the contact form at the start there. Another thing what we did is we did a live character count. We've limited this to 2,500 characters. It's on 2,000. And you can see here as I start to type in, the character count goes up or goes down accordingly. So it gives people a visual so they can keep an eye on what they're typing in here. We do have a minimum 500 character count, so they must put at least 500 characters in here. But these are all ideas. So between the basic information form, the additional details form, and the about section, we had to weave this into a design on the front of the website. Now, there are many different angles you can take on designs. This is just one, and we're going to talk you through the design and show you what Claude's created for the front end of the website. And it's probably at quite a basic level. I would say Claude can do a lot more than this, and it can get a lot more intricate and complex if that's what you want. And we've not quite finished it still yet. We're still working on it, but we're going to show you what that looks like. So we're going to view the public profile. So this is what the public profile looks like. We'll just do a scan down, and then we'll talk through each section. Okay, so you can see what's going on here. Now, one of the things you'll notice if we haven't got the lead form just on the right hand side here. What we did with Claude again is we're using request callback or write a review, and we still need to work with the write a review. We've not started work on that yet. But when people request a callback, we're using a pop-up form system, and primarily that's to keep them on the page. We don't want them to leave this page. And eventually we'll do the same with the write review as well. But as you see, where they click on that, wherever they click on it, it pops up. Now, things change on this page according to their business hours. So the business hours are really important here. The business hours are sort of echoed from the additional details form, the section that I showed you. And what it does here in this message, this section just here, is again, it requests a callback. So you've got that request a callback form coming, but it says we're currently out of the office. Leave your details and we'll call you back during business hours. Now, when the business hours arrive, so this syncs with UK time. So when business hours arrive, you've got this will change to that it's available or open for business. As soon as we sort of step into them business hours, this section will change as well. And this floating button, which is directly for this business, will change as well. So we'll say open, request a call back now, or open, request a call and we'll get back to you. So that's pretty much how that works. And they're all feeding off this availability. So they're all looking at the availability to determine what message they're going to display on this profile. Now, this profile would be a high-end profile, so it'd be a top-level membership package that we would offer on this site. This wouldn't be at the £1 listing stage, but it would be at the higher end. And the £1 listing stage would be the same sort of setup, but there wouldn't be things like contact numbers or links visible on the website. It would primarily be directing people to the callback form to generate leads and stuff like that. So we have that information just up here. We've put in a picture, an image, and this is a default image. This isn't an image provided by this business, but it's a default image, and this image sort of appears, it shows houses. It's not a brilliant image because it's been blocked by the buttons a bit, and we can work with that, but it sort of shows houses. I don't want it to be too strong because I don't want it to take away from the profile, but I did want it to have something so it was just present. We've got the contact number being echoed up here. We're not using the contact number in the form or the body. So we do have a contact number nice and clearly up here. we're echoing the business hours as I showed you. Forms of payment, that was one of the questions on the additional details form. Depending what they click, the form will adapt accordingly. So if they clicked on cash and check would move up to here and it would just display cash and check. So that's pretty much how that works. The out of hours section, the text will change accordingly. Depending whether they selected that they offer out of hours or they don't offer out of hours services. And again, there's a request to callback button just down here, which opens up that pop-up modal. Down here, we have check our website and socials. And this box will grow to 2 rows to fit all the socials and website links in here. And there's about 10 in total, or 10 or 12. And they'll all sort of fill this space here over the 2 rows. Depending on all the categories that they selected, there are pills here. So all their subcategories are displayed here, along with their sub selection and their main category. And these are all clickable. These click straight through to the search results. So that's pretty much how they work. That one isn't highlighting, so again, we just need to have a wee look at that. But these go straight through to the search results for them categories. The live coverage area. So because we're offering home services, what we've done is we've created this section. We've moved the map from the main section, the main body, and we've moved it over here. And it will pinpoint their address that they've entered, but also that radius drop down that I showed you earlier in this video. Depending on what they select, the map will zoom out and generate a radius circle that will appear on the map. That's going to be different for each business, and that will go as far as national. So maybe they provide home services, maybe they're a plumbing contractor group that serve the whole of the United Kingdom, and therefore it will show that they have full coverage. And then we've got our related searches section as well. And in with all that as well, we set this up to display on mobile phones. So this does stack. At the moment, the sidebar stacks below the about section. I don't know whether we're going to keep that there or whether we're going to select certain modules to sit in this space. So this space here, sorry, and for smaller screens, and whether we might move some of the other information further down the page for smaller screens and stuff like that. But it gives you a good idea of what's possible. So we've shown you the home page, which is, I say, I'm about 60% happy with. We've shown you the sign up page, which is really good, you know, in terms of how much you can do with the sign up page in the 3-step form. We've shown you the account forms, and then all that's been done with Claude. And then we've obviously got the front end here. And a lot of people do ask, you know, can you sort of jazz up the profile section? Can you change it? Can you make it more unique? And there's loads more you could do with this. You know, you could really play about with this header section and change that completely from having the image to the left and the buttons as they are. But we just wanted to give you a visual of what we're doing with Claude AI. We're going to build this whole website with Claude AI, and that's probably going to be over the course of several months. And then we'll sell it live and we'll see sort of how it does in terms of, you know, SEO and stuff like that, and we'll monitor it. We're now using Claude as well in with the services that we offer at membership websites to help people sort of build out their brilliant directories. But Claude is a game changer. You do need to be careful with what you're instructing it to do. And you also need to make sure you cover yourself in terms of everything that you're getting it to edit. So we tend to clone widgets that we're editing so that we have the original copy, and then we'll update that cloned widget accordingly as Claude makes the changes. And we do the same with forms as well. And that's something I would definitely recommend, and that you keep a copy or your best copy of what you've achieved to that point with Claude. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.